Guys, welcome back to Quick Notes with Chris. Today we're going to be talking about the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's actually seen as one of the best self-help books and personal development books out there that's ever existed. I actually thought it was really interesting because it is actually spoken and written in a little bit of olden day English, so there's a few things that I didn't completely understand the first time running through, but this is one of those books that I've basically known that majority of other books, success-oriented books, stemmed from. So I highly suggest that if you haven't read this, you do, and especially if you're into sort of working on reading a few more other things that'll help you develop yourself and put you in a better position for success. Now, the first principle that the book talks about that I think was really awesome was that you have to have a burning desire. Now, a burning desire is basically your goal. It's your why, the reason why you do anything. For example, if you're a middle-aged person, the reason why you're probably working, if you have kids, is your kids, right? If you're a single-aged person, you're probably working towards your future. Now, so many people have no idea what they're working towards. About probably, I'd argue, 80% of people have no idea what it is they're working towards. They're just working because that's what they fell into. Their habits, their circumstances brought them to where they're working. It's why you get like 25-year-olds still working at McDonald's, or 30-year-olds who basically are still cleaners. Nothing is inherently wrong with those industries, but the fact is that they're probably working there because they don't have a goal, they don't have a desire, they're not working actively towards a long-term thing. Most people are probably working toward a holiday or something like that. So it's about understanding what your burning desire is. Now, I like the word burning desire because it basically means it's such a big reason, it's such a big goal, it's a non-negotiable. No matter what you're going to achieve it, eventually it's just about the path that you're going to take. And that's what he's basically talking about. All successful people, especially when they were first starting out, initially had something in mind when they were starting. They started with the end in mind. They had a result that they were looking towards achieving. Like recently I've been working with this girl. She's basically a stay-at-home mum and she has 2 kids, but she refuses to put her children through any form of education that isn't a private school. Now, whether or not you believe that, the fact is that's her burning desire, and it's why she's willing to take up a second job. She's willing to basically look towards starting up businesses, because no matter what, she wants to achieve that for her kids. It doesn't actually matter what she has to do, as long as it's legal and ethical, at least, at the very least. Now, that's the type of thing that you're going to have drive. That's the thing that you can see duplicated in a lot of successful people. LeBron James, when he was coming up, he basically understood that he wanted to get out of poverty. He grew up in the projects. He wanted to get out of the projects, right? He wanted to give back to his parents. He wanted to give back to the people that he cared about. That was his why, more than anything. And if you can first identify what it is within yourself, then you can motivate and inspire others, right? So it's really important to understand what it is that you're looking to go out to achieve. The next thing that it talks about is autosuggestions. Now, autosuggestions is basically a different way to say environment. You are a product of your environment. This is the law of association. It's probably one of the most powerful laws out there. Basically, if you've never heard of it before, it's that you are programmed by your surroundings. You are programmed by where you live. You are programmed by the people that you spend your time with. You're programmed by the basically things and tools that you have surrounded by you, especially while you're growing up, right? So if you grew up in an English-speaking household, that's the reason why you speak English. If you grew up in a Spanish-speaking household, that's the reason why you speak Spanish. It's not rocket science. In fact, it actually goes beyond that. If you're a negative person, right, chances are you're in a negative environment. And the first thing you need to identify is, are you in a productive environment that's bringing you closer to your burning desire? Now, the harsh reality is that majority of people aren't in a positive environment, right? Consistently, especially their home life. Right? So what are the things that you need to actively look towards setting up in order to create this positive environment? Now, a positive environment is an environment that's actively bringing you towards your burning desire. That's what you need to understand. So if you're not progressing towards the goal that you want, then whether it's developing your children in a certain way, or starting a business, making it grow, becoming successful in a certain field, right? Your environment is gearing you towards that. So always understand that you are a product of your environment. If you hang around 4 millionaires, you're going to be the 5th. If you hang around 4 homeless people, you're going to be a 5th. No matter what, an outcome is going to come from the environment that you set out with it. So anchor it towards basically increasing your chances of your goal that you're looking towards achieve. But it also goes beyond, although it's really important who you spend your time with as well, but also you surround yourself. If you're a fitness oriented person, or you're looking towards becoming more healthy, right? If you put ice cream in your freezer, you're going to eat it. That's just an inevitable thing. So make sure that you control it through your distractions, right? Understand that you can anchor your environment through its distractions, as well as the people that you surround yourself with. And this goes beyond your home life, wherever you spend your time, whether it's at a toxic workplace or a positive workplace. These things are all going to shape who you are and affect you whether or not you're moving and progressing closer to your goal. The next thing that it talks about is writing out your purpose in life and viewing it every single day, right? It's a really interesting thing, but about 80% of successful people, highly successful people and highly efficient people, They believe in the law of attraction, which is basically speaking things into existence, understanding that your thoughts, whatever is on your mind, the picture that you have in your mind dominates your reality. So basically, programming yourself, your conscious mind, what you consciously think about, basically affects your subconscious mind. And no matter what, your subconscious mind is going to make you put you in situations, make decisions that bring you closer to the thing that you care about, that dominant thought. For example, if you care about relationships, if that's really what you care about, and that's all you want to do, and you're not in a relationship, right, with the opposite sex, the same sex, any form, it doesn't matter, your subconscious mind, because it's consciously on your mind, it's going to consciously or subconsciously make decisions, put you in situations that bring you closer towards having that a reality. It may not be straight away, depending on the type of person you are. It may be in the long term or a happy medium. But eventually, if you care about it enough, it's the dominant thought, your subconscious mind will put you in positions, make choices that bring you closer to that thing that you think about. So that basically means that your circumstances are more dictated about your thoughts. So you're in more control about where you are than you think, right? So once you understand that concept, then it's all about rewriting it, right? Write out your purpose in life. Your purpose in life can be basically what you're looking towards accomplishing. Right, with your number one thing, right? Say it every single day. Every single day, say it in the mirror. This is what I want to achieve. If you do that for long enough, eventually, no matter what, that's going to program your subconscious, and you're going to actively make decisions, actively make choices that bring you closer to your goal. The next thing that it talks about is mastermind principles. The mastermind principle basically means that 1 + 1 = 3. Right? If you take it, which is weird when you first hear it, but once you break it down, it makes sense. And it's more so because it's talking about multiplication and it's exponential. So first one is that a mum plus a dad equals a kid. So the result is 3 people. And that's the same thing with ideas. You want to surround yourself with people who are, if you've ever come across someone who you bounced an idea off them and thought that will never work, get away from that person. Right? If you can. Get away from, distance yourself from that person, because is not someone that's going to compound your thoughts. If you have an idea with someone who also has an idea, you end up with 3, and it's exponential. So if you have 2 people with 2 people, you end up with 8 or 12. At some points, it starts to expand and compound beyond control. And the reason that is, it's like, hey man, I'm thinking of starting this hot dog stand. It's like, yo, no way, I'm thinking about it too. You know what I think we should do? We should have a barbershop around it. All of a sudden you're bouncing off each other's, right? You have a barbershop hot dog and a duplicate of and a combination of the two. And that's what ends up being, that's what you want to surround yourself with. So if you can understand that, right, it's exponential, which basically means that it's compound, it's not just linear, right? You want to surround yourself by that types of people. You're more in control of the people that you hang around with than you think. It also talks about efficiency and time efficiency, more specifically with learning. See, although I do agree that the human mind has no capacity when it comes to learning, right, you can have to actually learn efficiently. For example, when you're focusing on, say, learning guitar, right, that's your time spent in something. And if you become a master at learning guitar, right, but you all of a sudden want to learn basketball, you have to sacrifice the time that you're spending on learning guitar, which means that it's going to lower in order to get good at playing basketball. So basically, you're investing your time into something. So Henry Ford went on, quote, to say when he was making so much money, right, that the tax department and the IRS accused him of being like, you have too much money, you have something shady has to be going on here. Now, he had a bunch of questions that he couldn't answer, and his answer to it is, I don't want to fill my mind with knowledge that I don't need. I don't want to fill my mind with knowledge that I can outsource. That's what he said. So if he can outsource knowledge to someone else, then that's more efficient on his time. And that principle, if that makes sense, it basically means knowledge is power only if it's applicable. Knowledge is power only if it's applicable. If you can utilize the knowledge that you're learning to put you in a better position, whether on a small scale or a large scale, it's only beneficial to the application process that you can put it in. And this is basically why he talks about how university degrees are becoming less and less valuable, because so many people are able to get this education, but it doesn't mean that they can actually apply it. So if that's directly linked, the knowledge is actually directly linked to these applications, right? Because so many people know that 1 + 1 is 2. But that is not going to be able to get you a job, right? Because it's not applicable, right? And so on and so on and so on. So if you keep looking towards understanding that the knowledge that you want to learn, you do have a level of capacity in terms of the field, you want to make sure that the things that you're taking in is valuable information. And valuable information is information that you can utilize, apply in order to basically put yourself in a better position. Anything less than that, do your best to disregard. Now outside it talks about basically, the more you learn, the more you earn. So if you understand that concept, the more specifically efficiently learn. Whatever you learn, you want to basically make sure that you're learning things that efficiently. And finally, a huge thing that's really important whenever it comes to thinking and growing rich is persistence. Right? The journey of success is always going to be filled with failure. But in fact, failure is what leads you towards that success. Every no brings you closer to a yes. So understand that it's a part of the process. Don't be discouraged by it. Any minor setback is a time for evaluation, or to make sure that when you come to that same situation again, you're more improved, you're in a better mindset in order to succeed. Anyways, guys, that's it for Quick Notes with Chrisan. I'll see you guys in the next video, but keep looking at some of the other videos we have loaded on the channel, but keep looking towards improving and putting yourself in a better position for success. I'll see you in the next one.